Are modern electric cars secretly leaving older drivers behind? Between wildly confusing touchscreens and painfully low seats, picking the wrong EV could literally ruin your daily drive. Today, we're breaking down 5 of the best-selling electric cars to find out which ones actually respect your comfort, safety, and independence. Let's dive in. Hyundai Ioniq 5s. Finally, we have the Hyundai Ioniq 5. If you want the absolute Goldilocks vehicle, the perfect balance of modern tech and old-school comfort, this might be the winner. Hyundai features aggressive pricing on this lineup, bringing the starting point down to $36,600. Depending on the battery, you can get up to 318 miles of range. But the true genius of the Ioniq 5 is its interior architecture. Because the wheelbase is incredibly long, longer than Hyundai's massive 3-row Palisade, the door openings are exceptionally wide. When you open the door, you'll notice the floor is completely flat from the driver's side all the way to the passenger side. There is no center console hump to trip over. You can easily slide a purse or a walking cane right onto the floorboards. The seats are lounge-like, the cabin is whisper-quiet, and the ride is beautifully soft, especially if you opt for the rugged XRT trim that features extra suspension travel to soak up bad roads. It also fixes the tech headaches. You get dual 12.3-inch screens, but you also get a row of physical shortcut buttons. It features wireless Apple CarPlay, incredibly intuitive voice commands, and massive windows that provide phenomenal outward visibility, virtually eliminating blind spots. And when it comes to charging, the Ioniq 5 is an absolute rocket. Thanks to its advanced 800-volt battery system, you can plug into a fast charger and jump from 10% to 80% battery in just 20 minutes. You can barely use the restroom and grab a coffee before the car is ready to hit the highway again. Plus, Hyundai backs it up with a legendary 10-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, ensuring you never have to worry about expensive battery repairs. Toyota bZ4X. Now we arrive at the legacy automaker. The Toyota bZ4X. Toyota is legendary for building the most reliable cars on Earth, and seniors love the brand for its peace of mind. This compact SUV starts at around $38,000, features a very comfortable suspension that eats up potholes, and has great interior headroom. However, we need to talk about the 2 massive engineering flaws that make this car very difficult to recommend. First is the dashboard layout. Toyota decided to mount the 7-inch digital gauge cluster extremely far forward and high up on the dash. The design completely forces you to look over the steering wheel to see your speed rather than through it. Depending on your height and how you adjust your seat, the top of the steering wheel will likely completely block your speedometer. If you wear bifocals, trying to find the sweet spot between seeing the road and seeing your speed will strain your neck constantly. Oh, and if you like keeping your registration and a flashlight in the glove box, too bad. Toyota completely removed the glove box in this car. The second deal breaker is the road trip range. While it claims over 220 miles on the sticker, in rigorous independent 75 mph highway testing, the dual-motor all-wheel drive bZ4X completely ran out of battery at just 160 miles. That ties it for the worst highway range on the market. Furthermore, its fast charging speed maxes out at a painfully slow 100 kilowatts. If you buy this car, you will be stopping constantly on road trips, and you will be sitting at the charger for nearly an hour every single time. Chevrolet Equinox EV. If the Tesla interior gave you anxiety just looking at it, let me introduce you to the ultimate stress relief vehicle, the Chevrolet Equinox EV. Priced right in the sweet spot between $36,000 and $45,000, Chevy built an electric vehicle for people who still want their car to actually feel like a car. You get a perfect traditional crossover ride height that makes getting in and out an absolute breeze. If you opt for the all-wheel drive version, you get a punchy 300 horsepower and a very respectable 260 miles of real-world highway range. But the real magic happens right here in the driver's seat. Chevy gives you a massive 17.7-inch infotainment screen, but they paired it with a dedicated 11-inch digital gauge cluster right behind the steering wheel. Your speedometer, battery life, and safety alerts are exactly where your brain has been trained to look for the last 50 years. Better yet, Chevy kept real, physical, tactile knobs and buttons for your climate controls. If your windows suddenly fog up on a rainy afternoon, you don't have to dig through 3 digital menus while driving 65 miles per hour. You just reach down and turn a knob. And for long highway drives, the Equinox EV offers a superpower, GM's Super Cruise. For an extra $2,700, this system allows for true hands-free driving on hundreds of thousands of miles of mapped highways. It monitors your eyes to make sure you are paying attention, and it will steer, brake, and even change lanes for you. For seniors looking to reduce fatigue on long trips, Super Cruise is an absolute game changer. Tesla Model 3. Next up, we have the Model Y's little brother, the resurrected Tesla Model 3 base. Starting at an eye-popping $38,630, this is one of the most affordable ways to get into a premium electric vehicle. It delivers a solid 321 miles of range and handles like a precision sports car. But for senior buyers, the Model 3 introduces our first major red flag, the bad back test. Unlike the Model Y SUV, the Model 3 is a traditional compact sedan. Because the heavy battery pack sits flat under the floor, the interior floor itself is raised. To give you enough headroom, Tesla had to mount the seats incredibly low to the ground. The entire car is only 56.7 inches tall. Getting in requires a deep, awkward squat, and getting out requires you to basically hoist your entire body weight up from the floor. If you have had knee surgery or struggle with mobility, the daily process of getting in and out of the Model 3 will become exhausting. On top of that, to keep that starting price so low, Tesla had to cut some serious corners. The steering wheel adjusts manually, the seat upholstery uses cheaper textile inserts, and the adaptive cruise control completely lacks lane-keeping functionality. That means unlike the premium versions, this base model won't steer for you on the highway. Combine that with the exact same buttonless, screen-only dashboard as the Model Y, and the Model 3 becomes a vehicle that we strongly suggest older drivers test out extensively before putting down a deposit. Tesla Model Y. First up on our list is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the EV world. The Tesla Model Y. Tesla recently refreshed the styling, but more importantly, they upgraded the overall material quality inside the cabin. If you're looking at the long-range all-wheel drive model, you're getting an incredible 303 miles of range and a lightning-fast 0 to 60 time of 3.9 seconds. But let's throw the spec sheet out the window for a second. How does it actually feel for a senior driver? When it comes to accessibility, the Model Y is an absolute dream. It stands almost 64 inches tall. This means the seat is positioned perfectly at what we call hip point height. You do not have to aggressively bend your knees to drop down into it, and you certainly don't have to pull a muscle trying to climb up into it like a heavy-duty pickup truck. You simply slide right in. Tesla also added much thicker padding to the front seats, making it a fantastic cruiser for sore lower backs. However, there is a massive catch. If you suffer from mild arthritis in your hands or prefer keeping your eyes strictly on the road, the Model Y might drive you crazy. There are almost no physical buttons inside this car. Everything, and I mean everything, right down to adjusting the speed of your windshield wipers or changing the direction of the air conditioning vents, forces you to tap and swipe on a massive 15.4-inch touchscreen in the center of the dash. There isn't even a speedometer behind the steering wheel. You have to constantly glance over to the top left corner of the screen just to see how fast you are going. It requires a serious learning curve. But if you can master the iPad-like interface, you gain access to the Tesla Supercharger network. If you are road tripping to see the grandkids, you simply plug the car in, no fumbling with credit cards or broken screens at public stations. It will add nearly 170 miles of range in just 15 minutes.